I want to talk briefly about how our fears prevent us from doing the things that we love. Many a times we are programmed through our bodies, not through our minds, through our bodies subconsciously to avoid pain. All our lives we're in pain avoidance mode, always looking in the environment for what is dangerous and then avoiding that. And that is part of our genetic makeup. It's part of our survival instinct. It's part of the reason why I'm here and you're here, is because of this great survival instinct to avoid pain at all costs, to keep us as a species alive. And it's worked very well. We're here, you're here, I'm here. So full credit where it's due for the inbuilt system that makes sure that we flee from danger and always return back to safety. That's great. But the problem is when this mechanism that is great for pain avoidance also prevents us from doing the things that we love because we're afraid. Now, we need to separate between life-threatening pain, circumstances where you could lose your life, and those things that are made up in your head based on your perceptions. If it's universal, as an example, if you had to jump off this balcony and go straight down, hit the ground, your chances are pretty universally known that you most likely will die or seriously injure yourself. And that's universally accepted. That's not even a fear, that's realistic. But, here's the but. The big but is that when the fear is made up in the head and the same survival instinct now springs into action. In a relationship, we've had a bad relationship. What does that mean, bad? Because we've been hurt. What is hurt? Hurt means that someone said something to us or did something to us, not physically. Physically is different. That's when you abuse physically, that's different. But when someone, for instance, slept with another partner, they didn't hurt you physically, they hurt you emotionally, which is your perception that if they did that, then I'm hurt and I will suffer that hurt as if though it's a physical pain. So they did that, whatever they did, but why are you still hurt? And why do you carry it around to every other relationship? And sometimes it's not even infidelity. Whatever it may be, the nature of it is that we carry this burden and then we create pain around that. So because we're programmed for pain avoidance, we say, oh, we need to make sure we never feel that pain again. Where is that pain? Could you show it to me? Is it here? Is it on your body? No. And for long enough, when you construct this mental pain, it will become physical, right? So you don't actually have any pain, but you create that pain. So you go into another relationship, a potential relationship, and you're looking for warning signs. If that person may cause the same type of pain. It's not pain, right? So what do? At the first sign, you hear from a friend, oh, he did that, or she did that, and you flee. You run back to safety. And another opportunity comes up and you do the same thing. Over and over again, your greatest fear is that you will be hurt. And guess what you're creating? The ideal scenario for you to be hurt. And the mind doesn't get this. But then you're going to find this person that doesn't say anything or meets all the check boxes through your logical mind, which lies to you all the time. All the time. Logic is flawed. Then you'd be like, well, put it on the spreadsheet, weigh it up, this side, that side, it's got a nice smile, makes me laugh, is funny, or she's loyal, she cooks well, all that, and then bam, this whole thing explodes. Now, it's not going to happen every time, but that's when they call me. I don't know how I didn't see it. It was so clear. I missed it, my blind spot, and that's where it hits you, because you're afraid of this pain. So what do we do instead? Allow whatever to happen to have happened, but do not carry it around. It's not your pain. It's not your pain. It's an emotional reaction and a perception that is creating the pain. If someone slept with another person and they were in a relationship with you, then you can simply say, well, in my view of the world, I expect my partner to not do that, and so I shall leave. But that's it. Like, they did that, and now you leave. But the whole drama and the saga, or it could be another point of view, that I'm okay with it. It's fine with me. Why? What's wrong with that? Or whatever that may be. He said this hurtful thing to me. Well, it was only hurtful because you perceived it that way, right? But if someone says to you, you're fat and you're ugly and you're lazy, all right. Why does it have to hurt? It's their perception. Allow them to have their opinion. Fat? Am I fat? Well, don't think I'm fat. But if you think I'm fat, and if I'm fat, so what? So what? And I'm ugly. Well, ugly is an entirely subjective thing, thank you very much. And I may be ugly, and I may be beautiful. And you may be ugly, and you may be beautiful. There is no universal acceptance of what's beautiful and what's ugly. So are they correct? Only if you want them to be. Only if you want to be hurt by it and make a whole drama out of it. It's just words. Unless you really think you're ugly, that's when you get offended by it. There's no such thing as ugly. It's all in the mind. But if 3 people told you growing up you're ugly, or you got a funny scar on your head, or whatever, and you carry that around, and if someone says that, you're like, oh, he hurt me. He hurt me. Why? Because he said I'm ugly. But you're not. Right? Lazy. What's lazy? Another word. What does it mean? Nothing. It means whatever they want it to mean. If you really want a description, could you explain to me how I'm lazy? Instead of getting offended by it. Well, you didn't pick up the clothes yesterday. Oh, so now you basically blanketed the fact that I didn't pick up the clothes as lazy. But that's okay. You don't have to judge them back. You don't have to say, oh, well, if you think I'm lazy, then look at you, and you're even more lazy. And it's no point to it. So you didn't get hurt, right? And the same thing comes with money, right? So we have a situation with money where we're always trying to make sure we always have enough, that we will never be poor, because maybe in your youth you were raised poor and that caused you pain. Again, a perception, because you didn't get to buy everything that your friends got. Or sometimes you guys had to eat baked vegetables instead of grilled turkey, whatever that was. And some people are genuinely poor, where there's no food in the house and there's no clothes for them to wear and all the rest of it. And that's fine. That happened. All right. It was difficult as a child, but then these people grow up to be adults, and they do everything they can to make sure they're never poor again. So you're not poor, but are you happy? What are you doing with your money? Are you hoarding it? Are you making sure you never suffer poverty again? But what price are you paying for this? And the irony is that money comes and money goes. And some of the best entrepreneurs are the biggest risk takers. I've seen that over and over again, where people are protecting their money. Very savvy business people, entrepreneurs, like tight-assed to a far extent. And I was like that too. Can't spend this money here. I've got to save it for this, prioritize. Which is absolute nonsense. Those people, many of them, end up having these amazing tragedies. Oh, my bank account got hacked. Oh, there was an emergency and my whatever, I had to spend it all on this. Or I was taken for a ride by this person. Or that happened. I've got a friend of mine who's is a billionaire. And I said to him, you're a billionaire. Why don't you travel in business first? That time when people used to travel much more. He says, no, you should always be savvy and save money for a rainy day. I said, yeah, but you've got more than enough for 1,000 rainy days. You never know. You never know. And he lost it all in a huge turn of the markets that he didn't see coming. Lost it all. Crying his guts out because his whole identity was built upon, guess what? His money. Take the money out of this person, he has no personality. It's not interesting to talk to. It's not fun to talk to. The reason why you go and see him is because you can get some money, or you can invest in your project. Wasn't even that good of an advisor. So because he was pushing and pushing all the time, I'm not saying all rich people are like this, he never enjoyed his life. Now it's all gone. And it's the same way we're in a bad relationship, or we're in a relationship and we don't say those things because we don't want them to leave. Because you don't want to be alone. You're afraid of being alone. So you don't speak your mind. And you don't say what you really feel. And you're like, oh no, I better not say this because he may leave or she may leave. And guess what happens? They leave. They cheated on you. Something happened. They died. That happens too, right? And you didn't get to say what you were going to say. You never lived the relationship because you always didn't speak your mind. You didn't tell them what you loved, the things you really didn't like, and the things that you wanted to do, but you were too afraid to talk to them about because you were afraid of losing them. And guess what happened? You lost them. It's the same way with going into relationships. You avoid it, and then you end up with that one person that does what? Give you hell. Same like the businessman or the person with a lot of money. Avoid it, and they finally go into this deal that they've done the due diligence of, and the lawyers have been over it, and all the work has been done. And then 2 months later, and I'm talking about real experiences, all this is real experiences, they get a call. Oh, everything was fine legally, but the entire market turned, it all just collapsed. All went to shit. So what are you doing, man? So what are you doing avoiding pain? So go into your pain. Do the opposite. And the rational mind says, play it safe. Don't get hurt. Hurt is a perception. Go into it. And be prepared to get hurt. They may say, you're a rotten scoundrel. And in return you say, that's okay. And it doesn't hurt anymore. Because we all can be rotten scoundrels, so can you. Nobody's an angel on earth. That's how we're created. We can be one day devils and the other day angels. That's okay. You know? So, go into that when you want to hold on to all your money and not spend it on anything, especially yourself. Especially yourself. Spend it. Do the opposite. And watch how there's always more than enough, and that your soul is coming alive. And you won't lose it. And when you speak in a relationship and engage, you won't lose that relationship because you're doing the opposite. Otherwise, everything that you fear, you're setting it up for that day when the whole thing blows up. So instead of fearing it, say, if it happens, I'll be fine with it, as I've always been. And you will be. I promise you that. So go into your fears and go live life. Stop running away. Stop hiding away. Death will find you. Pain will find you. Suffering will find you. Misery will find you. All these things will find you no matter what you do, wherever you hide. And there's so many things you haven't quantified in your life that can happen to you. But you haven't quantified them, have you? They can happen. For example, you could get run over by a bus. Well, buses are a little rare these days. You could trip and fall and spend 6 months in hospital. Can that happen? Yeah, but have you quantified that in your whole pain avoidance cycle? Huh? Have you quantified all the millions of things? There's something like 48 million diseases that you could catch right now. But you're trying to avoid that one thing. Don't do that. Make sure you have plenty of salads, because you could get this kind of illness. But have you quantified, by you eating that, you're going to get that. By you breathing that, you're going to get that. By you feeling that, you're going to get that. By you thinking that, you're going to get that. Have you quantified all of that? No, because you can't. So it's an illusion. And when you spend your money and you save your money here and you save your money there, have you actually looked at it? Those pennies that you're saving there, you end up blowing it over there. I've seen guys, they'll go and have KFC for lunch, and then they'll take friends out for a drink and spend, $2,000 on drinks. And you're like, what's going on here? Oh no, it's just, good times, So go and eat the salad, the chicken salad in a nice restaurant. And at the same time, tell your friends to contribute as well. If you've got more than enough, then spend it. Or that you're saving money here and saving money there and putting money aside, and let's all go economy class and do this. And something happens, you'd be like, you're not getting a refund on the hotel. I've had a client do that. Turned up all the way there. Some hotel that he booked, it was a 5-star hotel that he got a fantastic rate. And he turned up there and it was not what he expected. Too good to be true sometimes. But it was a good deal, Ended up losing all his money because they said no refund policy. And he booked like 14 nights over there. Boy, was he pissed, right? But he could have went for the other option, taken a little more expensive, had a flexible deal. And you know what? It may cost a little bit more, but if you don't like it, you just walk away. The other option he could have said was, I've got more than enough, so what if I lost the no refund? Book somewhere else. Book where you love. And go into that relationship. Go into that person that you're afraid of and say, look, that is what I'm used to avoiding, but I'm going to do the opposite. What's the worst that can happen? They could hurt you. It's only in your mind. Let them hurt you. Who can never hurt you? Tell me. Do you know anyone on the planet that's guaranteed to never say a nasty thing? Because that's what you get hurt by. Words. Words cut you. They're just words, but you allow them to. So do you know someone out there, please show me, who's never going to say anything nasty to you? Even the ones that we say, he's so sweet and he's so nice to his mom and he picks up the kids from school and he does the grocery shopping. Those are the ones you hear on the news. Mass murderer and serial killer. The neighbors come out and they're interviewing him. He just killed 16 people. He was the nicest guy. Always so friendly. Visit his mom once a week. There you go. So go look for the nice guy and the perfect person. End up marrying a mass murderer. I'm joking. You won't. But stop avoiding pain, especially emotional pain. It's not real. Physical pain, yeah. Don't jump off this balcony. Don't do that. Okay? But go into those things that you fear and live, as the Chinese say so beautifully. Better to live one day as a lion than 1,000 days like a sheep. Just following around, following your ego and your fears, avoiding pain like all the rest of us, emotional pain. And this was Confucius who said that, because the modern day Chinese are not where Lao Tzu and the ancient teachings of Zen and all the rest of it came from. But that is the practice, to go into what you fear and not allow it to make your life a misery. Choose joy. Are you worthy of joy? Think about it.